Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, we begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this opportunity for us to continue in our lesson in the Sullam Munawraq of Al-Imam Abdul Rahman al-Akhdari, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us and give easiness to understand the subject, and may Allah make this gathering a reason for our forgiveness and answering of our prayers, and may Allah bless us and give taqwa and istiqamah in amal and husnul khatimah, and may Allah gather us with our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam yawm al-qiyamah. Ameen ya rabbal alameen. So inshallah ta'ala we'll do a bit of revision before we continue for today's lesson. In our last lesson, basically we were speaking about fi bayani nisbatil alfadhi lil ma'ani. The author speaks about the connection of words and the meanings, the connection of words and the meanings, and what is the connections of words and their meanings. And I mentioned that the knowledge in your mantiq, it focuses on meanings. It focuses on the meanings of words. But the meanings cannot be achieved without words. So that is why it is important to understand the meaning of words to get a picture or get profound understanding about definitions. So in order for us to understand the meaning behind those words, so we have to understand the nature of words. So here the author is speaking about words, have 5 situations, and it can have 5 situations, and this is pertaining to the connection of the words and their meanings. So these are the 5 things that we mentioned in our last lesson, if you can remember, for those who are following. So the author mentioned wa nisbatul alfadhi lil ma'ani. Wa nisbatul alfadhi lil ma'ani. Today I got some issue on my software. That's why I started late today. Let me do some adjustment. Okay. So the author mentioned okay. Now we go back into what we mentioned. The author mentioned wa nisbatul alfadhi lil ma'ani khamsatu aqsamin bila nuqsani. So basically there are the 5 things. These are the connection of meanings with the words. Then he mentioned after that the 5 things are, he said, tawatu'un tashakukun takhalufun wal ishtiraku aksuhu taradufu. So these are the 5 things that we mentioned in our last lesson. So let us repeat again as a revision before we go on inshallah ta'ala to the next part. So number 1, he mentioned the first category is called tawatu. Tawatu. I believe I illustrated, I wrote down some notes in our last lesson. So there is such a thing that is tawatu, which is translated as uniformity. Basically the meaning of tawatu, meaning that you have a word that covers the complete meaning of a particular thing. For example, any the word humans. The word any humans. And when we say any humans, we are referring any to a particular being. So this particular word any humans, it tells us any the complete any meaning any of the human being. Yani 100%. We are not any speaking about part any of human being. We are speaking any about the whole any of the human being. So we say this is the meaning any of, this is any the meaning any of tawatu. So words any of this nature carries any the complete any meaning any of the particular one. But different any when it comes to tashakuk. Tashakuk any is the meaning that has any some difference, and these are within any the members any of the same class. So last week any I gave the example any of light. For example, any we have any sunlight, and we have moonlight any, for example, or light any that comes any from the bulb, or spotlight any, for example. We have any sunlight and we have any spotlight. Both any are lights. Both are lights. But there is a difference any between the first and the second. Yani the light any that comes any from the sun any is stronger than the light any that comes any from the bulb. So this difference within any the same class, within any the members any of the same class, this difference any, if there is any a difference any in this kind of meaning, despite any they share any what you call it one class, that is any the word light any, for example. Now this difference any we call it tashakuk. This difference any we call it any tashakuk. So tawatu, the opposite is tashakuk. Tawatu any there's no difference. We speak any about a particular thing, yani it speaks any about the complete meaning any of a particular thing. Whereas any when it comes any to tashakuk, any there are some difference any within any the members any of the same class. So this is the meaning any of tashakuk. So when comes any to the attributes any of human beings any, for example, or when comes any to some characteristics of the human beings, and human beings any differ from one person to another. But as a whole any we say a person any is a human being, a male is a human being, a female any is a human being, a black man is a human being, a white man is a human being. So the word any human being any applies any to everything. It applies any to everything. It doesn't differentiate any between one particular person any and another particular person. This is the meaning of tawatu. But when it comes into tashakuk, there is a difference any between the members. Any, for example, a difference any in height, difference any in skin color. There are differences any from one particular person to another particular person. But they share any the same as humans, the same class any as humans any, but they have any different any characteristics. So this any difference any is what is meant by tashakuk. So these are basically the meaning any of tawatu and the meaning any of tashakuk. And then number 3 any we have takhaluf. Takhaluf, it is basically difference any in essence. Difference in essence. And if, for example, any we say human beings and horses, these are two different things. These are two different things. So it is not the same any at all. This is takhaluf or tabayun. Yani some any scholars in the Mantiq any they use any the word. They use any the word any tabayun. There is tabayun, any meaning any there is a total any difference between a particular thing and another particular thing. And then any we have any the word any ishtirak. The word any ishtirak any you have any one particular word but have many meanings. Yeah, we gave an example of the word ayn. The word any ayn in the Arabic language it can mean eye. It can also mean fountain. It can also mean a spy. So one word any carries many meanings. So we say it what you call it shares any the word. Whereas any taraduf any we have many words but carries any the same meaning. Many words any but carry the same meaning. Just like in English any, for example, we have any the word any, for example, in English yani we have such thing any that is called synonyms, correct, no? Certain words any it is one particular word any but carry carry a few meaning. Naam. So likewise in the Arabic language, in all languages we have one particular, sometimes we have many words, but all of it has the same meaning. In Arabic we have ata, ja'a, all this it shows that the meaning is the same, that he came. Ata in Arabic we say he came. Ja'a also he came. Wasala he arrived. So the meaning is about the same. So we call it taraduf. So we have ishtirak. The difference is ishtirak is many words. One word that has many meanings, whereas taraduf many words but carry the same meaning. So these are the 5 types that the author mentioned. Nisbatul alfadhi lil ma'ani. So this is basically the connection. And when you have a particular word, then we have to take into consideration what is the meaning of this particular word, whether what is meant is tawatu or tashakuk or takhaluf or ishtirak or taraduf. If this particular word has many meanings, then we have to ascertain what is the meaning that is meant. What is the meaning that is meant. And for example, in the Quran, the word istiwa, a lot of people nowadays ask, what is the meaning of istiwa? Istiwa has 15 meanings. Istiwa has 15 meanings. So when I use the word istiwa, then I have to ascertain which is the meaning that I am referring to. So the person who hears me is saying this word, then must be aware what is the meaning that I meant. Because when it comes into words that carries many meanings, then we have to ascertain what is the meaning that is meant. Likewise, you have many words but carries the same meaning. So what is important is to understand the meaning behind those words. That is why we have to take consideration the situation of taraduf or ishtirak, whereas any meanings can share with words can share any meaning, and many words can have any one meaning. Just like in Arabic we have the word lion, and for example we have asad, we have aidarus, we have laith. These are words. These are many words, but it has the same meaning. All of it refers to lion. So when we are putting in arguments in logic, we have to ascertain which is the meaning that we meant. If that particular word carries any more meanings or has any one meaning, or it is based on tashakuk or difference within the members of this category, or it is a complete 100% meaning that refers to the essence without any differences, then it is what we meant by tawatu. So all this helps us to understand words and the meanings. Now when we go on into the next one, the author mentioned وَاللَّفْظُ إِمَّا طَلَبٌ أَوْ خَبَرٌ وَأَوَّلٌ ثَلَاثَةٌ سَتُذْكَرُ. Then the author mentioned that the phrase is either talab or khabar. It's either talab or khabar. What is the meaning? I mentioned here the lafaz is either command or phrase. There are two things here. We have amr or talab, and we have khabar. So let me give you an example. When we say talab is basically a command. Like in English, for example, we say go to the market, and we tell a person go to the market. In Arabic, we say idhab ila suq. Idhab ila suq. So this is a command. This is a command. Whereas a phrase is, we say Zaid went to the market, and it is not a command. This is a sentence that we use as the past tense. So you say Zaid and he went to the market. So what is the difference between the first and the second? The first uses any command. The second is not a command but it is just informing that Zaid and he has done this particular action. What is the reason the author of Sullam suddenly he mentioned this? The reason is then he is going to say that in the knowledge of Mantiq, what is important is khabar and not talab. The scholars of Mantiq they take in they give any importance to understanding phrases rather than understanding any command. But then he mentioned wa awwalun, as for the talab, the command, salasatun satuzkaru. There are three types of command. This is what he said. So he mentioned amrun ma'asti'la wa aksuhu du'a wa fit tasawi faltimasun waqa. So there are three types of command, and number one is called amr. Amr is ma'asti'la, a person of a higher rank commanding a person of the lower rank. For example, a general in the army commanding the corporal. So this is called amr, because in terms of rank, the general is higher than the corporal. So if the command comes from a higher rank to the lower, in Arabic we call it amr, this is a command. But if the opposite, the lower is asking the higher, the lower is asking the higher. Like for example, we make dua to Allah, we say Allahumma stajib, oh Allah, answer my prayers, this is also in the command form. Istajib and fi'l amr. So if it is from the lower to the higher, we say this is dua. So the difference between amr and dua, amr is from the higher to the lower, whereas dua is from the lower to the higher. Wafit tasawi, if the rank are the same, like for example a corporal commanding a corporal, commanding a corporal. The meaning here is this is iltimas. This is what he said. Wafit tasawi faltimasun waqa'a. So there is a difference between amr, dua, iltimas, and all these are the three categories of talab. Talab basically to command something. So these are the three types of command. As what we mentioned that in Mantiq, what is important is khabar not command. Is khabar not any command. The phrases. When you look for example in the Quran, verses in the Quran is divided into khabar wal insha. In balagha we call it insha. Insha basically in the command form. Anything that is in the command form is called insha. Whether we are speaking about talab, whether we are speaking about amr or dua or iltimas, the meaning is insha. So in the Quran there are verses where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala command us. For example in the Quran Allah say wa aqimus salata wa atuz zakah. Wa aqimus salata wa atuz zakah. This is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is insha. And khabar for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mention in the Quran for example, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. This is khabar. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Malik Yawmiddin. This is any khabar. It is based to inform us about who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. So the Quran we have insha and we have any khabar. This is very important when we study, for example, nasikh wal mansukh. Our ulama mention when it comes to nasikh and mansukh, it only occurs to insha. It doesn't occur to khabar because khabar are phrases, and phrases are not abrogated. What is abrogated is the ahkam. What is abrogated is the ahkam. Ala kulli hal. Now we continue to the next one. And for this I did not do any of the translations because I left this thing out of the translation by mistake. So that is why I do not have any of the English translation for this one, but inshallah ta'ala I will explain as long as the time of Isha has not come in. MashaAllah, I think the time of Isha has come. So inshallah next week inshallah I try to put the the translation, and inshallah next week we will cover this. We speak about the meaning of al-kull wal-kulliyya wal-juz wal-juz'iyya. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.